Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Star Flag Media. Today is May the 8th, 2023, and we are bringing you news across the gaming world today. A little bit of PlayStation news and a little bit of Nintendo news to go around. Today, we're going to start off with PlayStation shutting down its first-party studio, Pixel Opus, excuse me. Sony Interactive Studios is shutting down first-party developer Pixel Opus, the studio behind Concrete Genie and Entwined, on June 2nd. Pixel Opus went on Twitter and said the following: Dear friends, our Pixel Opus Adventures has come to an end as we look to new futures. We wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to the millions of passionate players who have supported us and our mission to make beautiful, imaginative games with heart. We are so grateful. PlayStation Studios regularly evaluates its portfolio and the status of studio projects to ensure they meet organizations' short and long-term strategic objective. That was said by Sony's representative in a statement sent to GameSpot. As part of a recent review process, it has been decided that Pixel Opus will close on June 2nd. Pixel Opus was founded in 2014 and released Entwined in the same year for the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita. The studio would also release Concrete Genie in 2019 for the PlayStation 5 and was working on an untitled project in collaboration with Sony Picture Animations that has now been canceled. It's a little sad for gamers out there who enjoyed those titles. This isn't exactly going to hurt Sony in the long run. Pixel Opus was actually a very small studio, around 15 people or so. So I'm sure most of them will probably get shuffled around to other Sony studios. And more than likely, those who don't get anything within Sony will more than likely find jobs within the industry nearby. The next bit of news is also Sony and PlayStation related. A remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater has been rumored for a couple of years, and a new rumor has popped up related to the remake. Xbox Era co-founder Nick Baker on the Xbox Era podcast claims that he heard Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake might be announced at an upcoming PlayStation showcase, and it will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Windows Central Managing Editor Jez Corden has corroborated with Baker, saying he has heard similar about Metal Gear exclusivity for PlayStation. He also claims Sony landed a deal with Konami for Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and maybe even a new Castlevania. We don't know if this is going to be a 2D or a 3D Castlevania, but it looks like Sony is still making major pushes for exclusives, and this is really interesting because it flies in the face of their claims that the Activision merger with Microsoft couldn't happen because it fails to produce meaningful competition within the industry. This goes to show that this isn't anything new as far as exclusivities. It's just we don't want them to have the upper hand in any which way, shape, or form. So in reality, it's countering. They want to have the upper hand when it comes to making these big exclusive deals. It says here, it has been confirmed the remake for Silent Hill 2 is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, with it also launching on PC. It will be a console exclusive on PS5 for 12 months. A PlayStation showcase has been rumored to take place before Summer Game Fest, which is set to take place on June the 8th. So any day now, really. As always, this should be treated with a grain of salt. We don't know anything. There hasn't been any official announcements, and these are just rumors and speculations, of course, from a couple guys on a podcast who overheard something. I think this is really interesting. This could be very strong titles to solidify Sony's hold on the Ultra HD market consoles. This isn't really something that's going to affect Nintendo in any which way, shape, or form. These games, even if they were to make it on the platform, would be supplementary to anything first party. And really the only people that would, I think, kind of want some of these games are Xbox players. And even then, maybe Metal Gear Solid. These are games that have always been traditionally big on PlayStation consoles, save for Castlevania. Castlevania has a home on Nintendo systems, and that would probably be the only one that would perform well across the board, no matter what what system they release for. Metal Gear Solid is a huge franchise for Konami and PlayStation fans in general. It has made its way across multiple consoles and generations over the last years. And because this is a prequel to the Metal Gear Solid franchise, I wouldn't be shocked if they dropped the number 3 altogether, not to confuse any new players out there, and just call it Metal Gear Snake Eater. Is probably the best way to go about that. It's interesting to see what Sony is doing behind the scenes to get these exclusives, and we're gonna find out soon enough, right? Because Summer Game Fest is right around the corner, and this is supposed to be rumored to be on a showcase for PlayStation before that. Which brings us to the next thing. It brings us over to Nintendo side of thing, right? Nintendo is actually kind of going back to their roots. I don't know if many of you remember, if you were old enough to remember, Space World was an event that Nintendo used to hold to debut their own systems. It was kind of like their own E3. It was basically just Nintendo stuff there. We know now that E3 has been canceled, and E3 no longer is going to be a player in the game, especially not this year at the very least. I don't think it's ever coming back, but we'll see in the future. The major players in the game have pulled completely out of E3, and it looks like Nintendo has just announced their own live events. So Nintendo announced Nintendo Live 2023 in Seattle. It will run from September 1st to September 4th at the Seattle Convention Center alongside PAX West. So this is going to be right there with it. You can register on the official Nintendo website for a chance to be randomly selected to receive free tickets. The registration period starts on May 31st at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. That would be 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and will remain open until June 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Pacific and June 23rd at 2:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nintendo Live 2023 will feature Nintendo Switch gameplay, photo ops with costumed characters like Mario and Luigi, a stage with live performances, a pop-up Nintendo store with merchandise and additional family-focused activities, and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship 2023 and Splatoon 3 Championship 2023 tournaments. This is a pretty cool event, in my opinion. E3 dropping the ball as they have in the last, few years, especially during the pandemic, outright canceling and delaying it. Nintendo was ahead of that curve by doing the Nintendo Directs. They decided we're not going to be doing live events at E3 anymore. It's out of our control. Too many things can go wrong. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the presentations on when they debuted Wii Music. It was a train wreck. But then some of the excitement as well, it was lost. A little bit of that magic was also lost, because if you go back and watch the reveal of Twilight Princess, for example, the audience losing their minds, right? That was something that we kind of miss. I don't think that this live event is going to be along the lines of Space World, or we're going to see any major announcements, but this is a way for them to push their brand further, it seems. Holding these tournaments, they're fun events, and they're doing it alongside PAX West, so they're not really trying to steal the spotlight from PAX. This is going to complement that, and a lot of people from PAX are 100% going to be going over to this live event so they can check it out. And they're going to be able to try out new games. And again, I don't see major announcements coming from this, but it's really interesting to see that Nintendo is going to kind of take back their space and, organize live events for people again and push their brand this way. And it's totally within their bubble, their control, and they don't have to share that stage with anybody else. They don't have to be compared to anybody else. This is all just within their ecosystem. I think this is a fantastic thing that Nintendo is doing, and I am very curious to see if they continue to do so in the future. Well, that's all the news that I have today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you feel? Do you think that Metal Gear Solid 3 is going to be a PlayStation exclusive? Are you sad that Pixel Op is closed? And will you be visiting Nintendo at their live event coming up in September? As always, you can follow us on twitch.tv youtube.com/starflagmedia, and you can catch this a live version of this podcast or show or whatever you want to call it. And you can feel free to subscribe here on youtube.com/@starflagmedia, as well as follow us on Twitter/starflagmedia. As always, we want to hear from you. If you think we can do anything better, leave a comment below. If you like the video, hit that like and subscribe. We are a growing channel. It really helps us out a lot, and we'd really appreciate it. As always, thank you for stopping by, and keep gaming.